It's the 67th Independence Day of Ghana. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. In this half-hour edition of Newsnight.
Don't hit anybody. No, but why did you hit him?
Tonight, heavily armed military men block NDC MPs led by Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa from accessing the site of the National Cathedral on the day government had hoped it could commission the facility, which is, however, still at the foundation level.
We are demanding the immediate retrieval of our attack from the following person. Architect David Ajayi, who has so far pocketed $19.6 million.
We have details plus the NDC MP's symbolic commissioning of the facility. And we have had 31 years of stable democracy, but not a perfect one. Those are the words of President Akufo-Addo at the 67th Independence Day celebration in the Eastern region as he charges Ghanaians to maintain the peace and harmony so we don't slip.
More than 100 years, we've not got a perfect system. But every time we've had elections during this Fourth Republic, it has been an improvement.
We have details as the president says Ghana's economy will still see a breakthrough.
That we have overcome the worst. We are on the verge of a breakthrough in our economic fortune.
All right, President Akufo-Addo announces 2 new deals reached with investors expected to aid in recovery of the economy.
And that's in business. We'll bring you that shortly. And if you are still undecided about the Eastern Camp Adventure 2024, think again as patrons are promised fun with food, music, tent, accommodation, and assured security.
I tell you, and it's going to be fun and crazy.
Yeah.
And I am looking forward to it because I haven't experienced, a tent accommodation. I haven't gone camping before.
That's and more in this evening's edition of Newsnight. I am Emefa Apawu. Please stay for details.
Don't hit anybody.
The sounds you hear in the background is that altercation between heavily armed military men and who blocked NDC MPs led by Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa from accessing the site of the National Cathedral on the day government had hoped it could commission the facility, which is, however, still at the foundation level. We know that March 6 a date engraved with both promise and skepticism. Ghanaians hold their breath, questioning the fate of the National Cathedral, a colossal undertaking that has devoured $58 million, yet struggles to ascend beyond the ground it was meant to transform. While the imminent commissioning hangs in the suspense and leaving the nation to wonder. I'll give you all that happened earlier today, but first, there's more in this report.
My house shall be called the house of prayer for all people.
The project attracted a lot of criticism, which grew louder after COVID-19 threw the economy out of gear. For many, 100 million interdenominational cathedral was not a priority.
Justice for Ghana has taken a resolute stand that we don't want anything there to be called a cathedral.
National Cathedral.
Passing by will poke fun at you. Yes. He started something he couldn't finish. This is the word of the Lord.
This was all but a spiritual warfare.
The times are difficult, and that's what gives me hope.
The president described the detractors of the project as Sanballat and Tobias.
Just like Sanballat and Tobias, I respect their right to differ, but I'm confident in my decision.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta announced its commissioning date for March 6, 2024.
The National Cathedral is expected to be officially commissioned on March 6, 2024.
For $58 million, the contractor moved to site, dug a foundation, and buried the cornerstone. However, the the project has failed to leave the ground. The National Cathedral stands as a deep in the nation's conscience, where the promises of political aspiration crashed with the difficulties of financial reality. The question remains, can the National Cathedral pledge be fulfilled?
Well, it looks like that was not fulfilled today. At least today was the day that was scheduled to be commissioned. And we're told, or we're getting report from the site today, heavily armed military men and other security officers prevented NDC MPs led by North Tongue MP Samuel Okujetua Blakwa. We also had Samnate George and the rest of them as from assessing the site of the cathedral. The MPs were on a tour to the site, which has been abandoned for months, despite the government having hoped it could commission the facility today. The military men blocked the MPs, leading to a confrontation with the MPs bent on continuing on the attempt to enter the site. Listen to what transpired.
You know that there is no construction going on. We know for a fact that for 2 years now there is no work going on this site. It's an abandoned project. So why are you claiming that there is some construction going on there? Yeah, you hold on. Don't hit anybody. No, but why did you hit him? Why did you hit him?
Hold on a second. Sammy, hold on.
Construction site. Don't stop us from now. Don't stop us. No. You can't.
So that's what transpired earlier. And interestingly and thankfully also, my colleague Kweku Asante, a parliamentary affairs correspondent, saw it all. He joins us on the line with all the details and how it went down. Kweku, thank you so much for joining us. So let's talk about how this standoff was resolved and what is the explanation for the visit.
Well, the MPs say that the government has sunk what is more than $50 million into this project. And they wanted to see the work has been done and also do what they call the symbolic commissioning. And so the military clearly saying that they were following orders from above will not allow them anywhere near the site, inside. But the MPs pushed until the military and the police blocked the way just around the Electoral Commission head office, where two vehicles effectively preventing these MPs from getting access. But listen to Okujetua Blakwa explain why it was important for the MPs to go there today.
More than in this, our taxes, and we have every right, particularly on the day the president told us in Parliament and assured the country and the Almighty that this project, valued at $450 million, will be commissioned. So we have every right. If 2 years on the project has been abandoned, we have every right to come and demand accountability. And I want to salute all of you standing firm. So we have 13 demands, and I'm going to read those demands clearly, without ambiguity. We begin by quoting Malachi 3:8a. Will a man rob God? No. Yet ye have robbed me.
And Kweku, they go through the 13 demands, but give us highlights of the major ones.
Well, Emefa, they want first off that government should retrieve some huge sums of money that paid to Ajayi and Associates, Carrie Summers, Reverend Kusi Boateng. They say that is simply siphoning state funds. And apart from wanting the cathedral secretariat to be dissolved, the governing board to also be dissolved, they want these funds to be retrieved.
We are demanding an explanation from President Akufo-Addo on why he failed to fulfill his promise to God, to Parliament, and to the sovereign Ghanaian people. The promise to commission his $450 million, that is 5.7 billion Ghana cedis, priority of priorities cathedral. Today, the 6th of March 2024. We demand an explanation. Demand number 2, we are demanding full accountability on what happened to our $58,141,509 United States dollars and 52 cents. So $58.1 million. That is, at current exchange rate, 740 million Ghana cedis. Why is it that all we see here, just behind us, is the world's most expensive pit? We also want to know why the contractors, Ribade Davy, abandoned this project for lack of payment 2 years ago. We are demanding a comprehensive report on how much it has cost the state to so far replace and compensate some owners of demolished properties, and how much is still outstanding, considering that aggrieved demolished property owners, such as Waterstone Realty, have resorted to the courts. We are demanding the immediate retrieval of our taxes from the following person: Architect David Ajay, who has so far pocketed $19.6 million. That is 250 million Ghana cedis. We demand a refund. Carrie Summers, who is based in the United States of America, he is also keeping our $6 million. That is 76 million Ghana cedis. We demand a refund. Then there is Reverend Victor Kusibwatin, Kwabna Edu Jemfi, the infamous. We are demanding our 2.6 million Ghana cedis from all of these people.
Quickly, it appears that's not all. They are also accusing their colleague NPP MPs of sabotaging the parliamentary probe that the Speaker ordered into the National Cathedral Affairs. And then they also did a symbolic commissioning of the project.
Yes, Emefa, in the last meeting of Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament ordered that there should be an investigation into the National Cathedral project. What is stopping the investigation from proceeding is that the NPP MPs have not submitted the names from the majority side who form part of the committee. Some of the believe that this is a sabotage of the project. But after saying all this, they go ahead to do what they call a symbolic commissioning. So they bring ribbons and balloons and cut a sword to commission the project.
We are also demanding a publication of the Deloitte audit, which was promised the Ghanaian people on the 24th of January 2023. It's been more than a year since the National Cathedral put out a statement signed by the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Professor Poko Nyina, that they are inviting Deloitte to audit. Since 24th January 2023, it's been more than a year. Where is that audit? We are demanding a full publication of the audit. Demand number 9, the MPP caucus in Parliament should desist from sabotaging the impending parliamentary probe after a unanimous parliamentary resolution. The MPP's unpatriotic conduct by deliberately delaying the submission of names of their members to the Right Honourable Speaker for the committee to commence work is most condemnable. As you are all aware, but for this delay by our colleagues on the MPP side, Parliament should have instituted a probe long ago, 6 months ago. They are refusing to submit membership of the committee from their side. We demand and urge all Ghanaian citizens to put pressure on their MPP MPs to be patriotic. As demand number 10, we are appealing to Shraj to expedite action and publish the outcome of their investigations following my petition to them on the 16th of January 2023. Demand number 11, that the Board of Trustees and the National Cathedral Secretariat account for all private donations so far received. We note that they are still, every now and then, they are still doing adverts demanding private donations. We ask that they account fully. They have never accounted for that.
In the name of Akufo-Addo, Mahmoud Bawumia, and Ken Ofori-Atta, we commission this expensive hole in the world.
And quickly, that was the commissioning that was done by the NDC MPs. But really, the demands they made and the concerns they raised, they send an official, communication to anybody in particular when it comes to this particular National Cathedral?
Well, not at all. In fact, my understanding is that they expected that the National Cathedral Board of Trustees would have been there to at least have a conversation with them, and then they could have made this demand directly to them. But they were not there. But they believe Parliament is an important forum. It's a powerful forum. And once the committee's investigation starts, they'll be able to get some of these demands through. But they want to communicate this to the general public, and they believe, despite the police and military stopping them from accessing the site itself, they've been able to communicate their message.
And I bet you've sought to find out from the North Tongue MP and the NDC MPs and the party members that were there about why they would go and commission a project when they definitely know that this project was not ready. What exactly was the aim of this?
They said this is symbolic and that President Akufo-Addo, Ken Ofori-Atta have sunk more than $50 million. And they do a calculation and see at today's exchange rate, that is more than a staggering 700 million Ghana cedis. And so the Ghanaian people must not forget about this. In fact, they also want a national dialogue so that Ghanaians can decide what do we do with the site as it is currently. They are clear in their mind that no government, including a future NDC government, will conclude this project. And so the state, the Ghanaian people must come to a point where they agree that the site should probably be converted to a hospital, a school, but they want a national dialogue. And they believe this protest march today starts that national dialogue.
That's quick question to your parliamentary affairs correspondent was at the site of the National Cathedral after that during that press conference held by the North Tongue MP. He led that press conference together with some NDC MPs and some NDC members as well. We're trying to raise and work the phone lines and raise the North Tongue MPs, and when we do, we'll speak to him further on this development. Also, let's focus on our 67th independence anniversary, and we all gathered at Koforidua Resource Center in the Eastern region for this year's celebration. And President Akufo-Addo has charged Ghanaians to preserve the hard-fought 31 years of stable democracy, even though not perfect. He called on Ghanaians to safeguard this hard-won democracy at any cost, acknowledging imperfections. He highlighted the consistent improvement seen in each election during the Fourth Republic. The president emphasized the need for continuous learning and increased tolerance for differing opinions.
My dear compatriots, fellow Ghanaians, the theme chosen for this year's Independence Day celebrations is our democracy, our pride. And I welcome all of you to Koforidua, the capital of the Eastern region, which is hosting the celebrations this year. The decision to rotate the scene of the national celebrations around the country, instead of staging them only in Accra, the nation's capital, has certainly turned out to be a welcome nation-building exercise that helps us to focus attention on a different region every year and at the same time rallies the nation together in that region. I've mentioned specific groups that make up the Eastern region, but as I stated earlier, it is a region where the whole of Ghana merges into a melting pot and lives in harmony, and different groups feed on the strength of each other for the good of the whole. This is the same scenario that is played on the national scene, where different people have come together to form the Ghanaian nation and a national identity for the past 67 years. Fellow Ghanaians, we have good reason to choose as our theme and to celebrate our democracy, our pride, at this 67th anniversary of our independence. We are a democratic nation.
Additionally, President Akufo-Addo lauded his government's free SHS policy, which he says will help to lay the foundations for a brighter future for the country.
Greatest challenge remains the provision of good quality education to all of Ghana's children and young people. We have a lot to be proud of, but we have more work to do. I'm happy that through the implementation of the free senior high school policy, we're removing financial barriers to education.
President Akufo-Addo also touched on the economy, and he's optimistic about the economy, stating that it stands on the brink of a breakthrough as the worst challenges are now in the past.
I know that we have gone through difficult economic circumstances, but it is clear that we have overcome the worst, and we are looking forward to better times. I wish to make reference in particular to two projects coming on stream that should make a great difference to the economic fortunes of our country. I refer to the successful selection of strategic partners that will work with the Ghana Integrated Aluminum Development Corporation, GIADEC, to build a new alumina refinery and develop mines at Nyinehini in Pasaso as 3 or 4 projects being executed under the Integrated Aluminum Industry IAI projects. The other major project that is coming on stream, which is bound to make a dramatic change to the economy, is the Adar Songor Salt Project, being spearheaded by Electrochem Salt Mine Limited, led by the dynamic Ghanaian entrepreneur, Mr. Dan McCaukley, aka McDan. After many years of disputes, which prevented the exploitation of salt at the site, work has finally started, and salt will be mined on a large commercial scale. I am optimistic that together with other initiatives of this government, we are on the verge of a breakthrough in our economic fortune.
Well, that's President Akufo-Addo at the 67th Independence Day celebration in Koforidua in the Upper West region. My colleague Rafiq Salam gives us a wrap of what happened there.
A contingent of security personnel drawn from the Ghana Armed Forces 10 Mechanized Battalion, Ghana Police Service, Ghana Prison Service, Ghana National Fire Service, Ghana Immigration Service, and the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority took part in the 67th Upper West Regional Parade held at Laura. They were joined in the 2-hour march past by 14 primary, 17 junior high, and 3 senior high schools. Also included on the list were 1 tertiary institution and some voluntary organizations under the instruction of Parade Commanding Officer Kusi Atabans.
The parade 2IC will be handing over the parade shortly. The parade
The number of participating schools and time for the event was reduced following reports of suspected cases of cerebrospinal meningitis (CSM) in the region. The region, in the past couple of months, had recorded 81 suspected cases of the disease and claimed 4 lives. The 35 basic, senior high schools and tertiary institutions and the voluntary organization kick-started a march past, starting with the primary schools.
We have Lance Corporal Enos and Lance Corporal Gold.
That's my colleague Rafiq Salam's report from the Upper West region. Of course, there were celebrations that were marked in all 16 regions, but the main one was in Koforidua, attended by Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara and President Akufo-Addo. Now, let's do business. And Mr. Ishen is here in the studios. What's
Hi,
in business?
In business, President Akufo-Addo announces 2 new deals reached with investors expected to aid in recovery of the economy. Also, Tullow Oil records over $100 million lost for last year due to some challenges with Chineboa in Yira and in Tome Fields. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN, Kingdom Books and Stationery, Syntex Tanks, and also Pepsodent Charcoal and Herbal. Now, let's settle for the details now. And President Akufo-Addo is insisting that the challenges that hit the economy over the years are over and the country is now poised for some strong recovery. The president has also been speaking about some new projects that will help sustain this turnaround. He disclosed this at the 67th Independence Parade in Koforidua in the Eastern region.
To make reference in particular to 2 projects coming on stream that should make a great difference to the economic fortunes of our country. I refer to the successful selection of strategic partners that will work with the Ghana Integrated Aluminum Development Corporation GIADEC to build a new alumina refinery and develop mines at Nyinehini in Pasaso as 3 or 4 projects being executed under the Integrated Aluminum Industry IAI projects. It entails the development of a second mine at Nyinehini in Pasaso and the establishment of an aluminum refinery. We are finally coming to the end of decades of exporting raw bauxite from the country. The other major project that is coming on stream, which is bound to make a dramatic change to the economy, is the Adar Songor Salt Project, being spearheaded by Electrochem Salt Mine Limited.
That was President Akufo-Addo there speaking. To some other stories, Tullow Oil has recorded a loss after tax of more than $100 million for last year. This was announced by the company after it released the Earth 2023 financials in London today. George Rafe has the rest of the story.
Tullow Oil attributes this challenge to issues around debt associated with the Chineboa Ingera and Tume oil fields and challenges the reserve position of oil coming from that area. This pushes loss after tax to $110 million. Tullow over the years has been dealing with some debt issues as a result of borrowings undertaken to turn around these operations. But despite this challenge, Tullow was optimistic about the future. This is due to how things have picked up when it comes to production on all its oil fields here in Ghana. It also cites the South Jubilee project as one of the initiatives that would aid in the recovery of their operations going forward.
That's my colleague George Weafi there with the report. Now, manufacturing firm Nestle has affirmed its commitment to support the growth of the economy through innovation and education. Deborah Kwabla is the head of corporate affairs at Nestle and has been speaking to Joy Business at the President's Independence Day Awards ceremony in Accra.
It's become an integral part of the independence celebration of Ghana. And Nestle has sponsored this close to 2 decades. And we are very, very happy to be here to celebrate with award winners. This is important because we have to celebrate the people who achieve significant success in every endeavor of life. And for these young people, we are actually showing them that recognizing effort is an important component of life. So when we continue to do this President's Independence Day Award, we are also teaching these young people, not only are we honoring them for their exceptional educational academic achievements, but we are also showing them the way that success must be celebrated. And it's important for us, it's important for the children, and it's important for Ghana.
Deborah Kwabla is the head of corporate affairs at Nestle Ghana. And that's all for the Independence Day edition of Business on News Night with me, James Ishen.
James, have you slept in a tent before? Have you gone camping before?
I think, yeah, somewhere in 2019.
2019?
Yes.
Okay, so it's time for us to go again in 2024. It's from the 16th to 17th. Are you ready?
I'm very ready.
Okay, we're going to the Eastern Camp. It's the Eastern Camp Adventure. It's part of our Ghana Month celebrations and it's a 2-day trip to the Eastern region. We are all excited about it. Programs manager of Joy FM, Edem Naite, says patrons can be sure of a lifetime experience.
What's fun and what's adventurous about this is the fact that we're going to be pitching camp on top of the Ibri Mountain, somewhere very serene. We're not disclosing our location, publicly because of security reasons. But once you pay and you are part of the group, you know exactly where we are going and you know the itinerary. So from Accra, we go to Ewukugwa, Okonfanoche's bedside, and then from there we go to Asinima Waterfalls. People are looking forward to swimming in the waterfalls, and then we will now come back to the campsite where we are going to, be allocated our tents, because the highlight of it is you sleeping in a tent. So it's a tent accommodation for 1 night, and so we settled there for lunch, and then in the evening, after dinner, the jungle party happens with barbecue. And then we're going to have, by the far side, we are actually going to be sitting by the far side and telling our favorite Anansi stories. We're going to be having a lot of local games, there in the evening. The party is going to have DJs on rotation, and the focus will be on a lot of Ghanaian music.
And all you have to do is to dial *714*003#, or better still, you can call 030-221-6540, or you can also pay via Momo. It's 1,005 for the 2 days, everything included, the entire package, transportation, you have a comfy tent, accommodation, access to tourist sites, grand welcome with drums, full board meals, a lot. There's a Jama night, there's a hiking, there's a board games, a lot happening. You can pay via Momo, is 059-303-8842. It's a good time to take that 2-day leave and be part of that Eastern Escape. You've been working hard. It's a good time to relax as part of Ghana Month with the entire family. Now, just before we head out, as in the special part of News Night here tonight, we'll take you back in the day as we celebrate Ghana Month today. We highlight 5 unforgettable artists who contributed what we call Boga High Life and contributed immensely to our indigenous Ghanaian music. Mary Gifty Boateng has more.
In celebration of Ghana Month, let's shine a spotlight on the awesome musical legacy of our nation. One genre that shines brightly is Burger High Life. Blending our traditional high life and Western pop vibes, here are 5 legendary artists who have rocked this scene. We have George Darkon. His catchy tunes and reggae vibes, especially in Echo to Brofo, have made him a household name. Then, we have Lee Diodu. With his soulful voice, Diodu's songs like Akwa Nkwa have won hearts and kept feet tapping. Then we go to the Lumba Brothers. Daddy Lumba and Nane Champo make up this dynamic duo, known for hits like Obiato Mesobo and Ye Ya Ka Kwentum. We also have Rex Jamfi. His smooth vocals and unforgettable performances define Jamfi's music, especially in Obiabeu and Asaboni Nkumasase. To top it all off, Charles Amoa. His heartfelt lyrics and unique voice shine in songs like Ayo Darsin and Atism, touching hearts everywhere. As we celebrate Ghana Month, let's honor these incredible Burger High Life stars. Their music unites us and keep our Ghanaian spirits alive.
And that's our very own Mary Gifty Boating's report, making us proud. It's Burger High Life as part of Ghana Month. You can catch the full feature on myjoyonline.com and all our social media platforms. And that's how we wrap up the 67th Independence Day edition of Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Happy Independence!